Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Jim Miller, and I'd like to welcome you to the 16th annual A Sterling event benefiting a Silver Lining Foundation. This is our first virtual one, and to be quite candid right up front, we hope this to be our last one. This is not something we want to be an annual event, but we gathered today because it is an amazing organization and one that can certainly benefit from the help that you can do during these very trying times. So a lot of things will seem very familiar. We're obviously in a fundraising mode here tonight, and we've got a great way for you to participate. If you're at this page, you've already found our online auction. If somehow or another through the ether you have found our feed without that, simply go to asterlingevent.givesmart.com and you can bid on anything you want. We also have ways for you to make contributions in a straight cash donation. If there's nothing in there that you want to buy, you have that opportunity, whether it be $5,000 or $50. We are always accepting those donations. As an added bonus tonight, we've got a bunch of amazing friends of a Silver Lining Foundation, and they knew when we went virtual that that was going to be a bit of a crazy type of a situation, and they wanted to step up and try and make it a little easier and to incentivize those of you that are tuning in tonight. So we have some matching gifts tonight. First and foremost, we have a $100,000 matching grant provided by Perry McKay, and then Wendy and Tom Jones said, we'll throw in another $25,000 as a matching grant. So every contribution you make tonight will be matched by those matches that are in place. So your $100 becomes $200, et cetera, et cetera. We've got a bunch of great celebrities that are going to be here a little bit later on. Candace Jordan's going to be here. We've got our amazing MC for the night, Paul Lissaint, and all kinds of great stuff tonight. We encourage you to stick around, sit back. We want you to have a nice drink. And in order to do that, we had to have a signature drink, and we got none other than WGN's longtime friend of a Silver Foundation, Micah Matter.
Thank you, Jim Miller, and thank you to all of you who have tuned in to a Silver Linings virtual gala. Things are different this year. It's not the regular gala that we always have where we're having a good time and drinking and, donating to this fabulous foundation, this fabulous organization that Dr. Sandy and her wonderful husband put together at their kitchen table. Well, we're in my kitchen table right now, or at my kitchen table, I should say, because we're going to get this party started. Because what's a gala without a fabulous signature cocktail? And our signature cocktail today is a Silvertini. It's my take on a Cosmopolitan, but you use things a little bit differently. And you add a little extra spice because it is for Silver Lining Foundation after all. Okay, I'm gonna give you a second. If you're in your PJs, your comfy clothes, because we're all at home right now having a good time and we wanna drink. The good thing about being home and drinking, you can drink as much as you want and just go to bed. You don't have to drive, you don't have to get an Uber, anything like that. So that makes it a lot of fun. Okay, so this is what you need. Go to your kitchen right now, to your bar or whatever, and pick out your vodka. I prefer Tito's, but any vodka will do. Some people even use lemon vodka. Get Cointreau or triple sec. Now I prefer Cointreau because it's 40% alcohol, a little bit more and stronger than the triple sec, but they're both orangey flavor. They're made from orange rinds. And instead of cranberry juice, which is used for Cosmopolitan, grab some tart cherry juice. It really adds a little flair to it. Then I add, instead of oranges, which usually go, or limes, which usually go in your Cosmopolitan, I like to add Woodford Reserve bourbon cherries. Gives you that little extra kick. And don't forget limes, fresh lime juice. Some people like to get the bottled kind. I like the fresh stuff. And make sure you have lots of ice because you want this to be really cold and frosty. Get your martini shaker. Of course, any martini shaker will do. I kind of like the bling, as you can see. See how that catches your eye? Hey, it is Silver Linings after all. Got only the best for Silver Linings. Okay, get your martini shaker and get your martini glass. You have to have a martini glass because things taste better in the right kind of glass, right? At least I say so. And then assemble everything. You'll also need this is the jigger, I think is what you call it. Now this one right here is a 1.5 ounce on one side, and it is a, 3.5 ounce on the other side. So you'll need this. Lots of ice, and you've already have your lime juice. You squeeze that out already, and you've got your cherries. You ready for the Silvertini? Let's get it going. Okay, let's start off with the vodka. We need about 1.5 ounces. So my jigger says exactly 1.5 ounces. You ready? 1.5 ounces. Okay, Might be nice if I took off the top. Okay, 1.5 ounces. Okay, I'm going to take my 1.5 ounces of vodka, put it in there. Then I'm going to take 1 ounce of cranberry juice. Well, if you're making a cosmopolitan, but we're making a Silvertini, so 1 ounce of the tart cherry juice. So yeah, I'll leave a little 1/2 ounce. Okay, here we go. Throw that in there. Okay, now we're going to do 1/2 ounce of the Cointreau. We're going to just do 1/2 ounce. Or if you're feeling sassy, a little bit more than that, okay? Let's put that in there. Okay, and now we're going to do 1/2 ounce of the fresh, I keep saying fresh, lime juice, because that makes a difference between fresh and bottled. We're going to do, what did I say, 1/2 ounce? That should be it, okay. So that goes in there. So now we're going to put ice, and lots of it, because we want it to be nice and icy. Let's put a bunch of it in there. As I spill it all over the place, but that's okay, I'm at home, right? Okay, let's put our top on. Now this is really important because you want it to be icy. I keep saying it cold and frothy and yummy, so we're gonna shake it. They say 25 seconds, but see how it's all frosty around here? That means it's super cold. So, ready to pour. Just pour it. Listen to that. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, it's kind of pinky too, you know, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And now for la pièce de la résistance, the Woodford Bourbon Cherries. And sometimes it's kind of nice just to taste the first one. Pretty delish. Okay, so let's take it and put it in our Silvertini. Just like that. How about one more? All right, ladies and gentlemen, behold the Silvertini. Here's to Dr. Sandy and a Silver Linings virtual gala, and to the survivors and those who will survive because of Silver Linings Foundation. Be safe, be well, salut.
Oh, Micah Mater, that is a very, very nice cocktail. Hopefully you've got one at home as well. It's important tonight to know that we are here for all the right reasons, and we just couldn't do this without you. We thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight. Send a link to your friends if they're looking for something to do tonight. We've got plenty of room for them. Keep in mind, as we announced, we've got a total of $125,000 in matching grants currently on the table for any contributions that are made. You can do that throughout the program tonight or well after it, but we'd love to focus on what we're doing here right now and get you in on that. The challenges of being uninsured and underinsured persist, and now more than ever. Many of us know people that 6 months ago had all the insurance they need, had a good job, and their life was pretty stable. And due to the pandemic, it's been turned upside down. Silver Lining Foundation has looked at these folks and said, we need to do something to help them. We're going to step up. And so, of course, we want to learn a little bit more about the Silver Lining Foundation and the important work it does to ensure that no woman or man goes without potentially life-saving breast health testing. As you can see from some of those statistics, the impact across Chicagoland is unbelievable. Thousands of women and men affected by this every day, and a Silver Lining Foundation stepping up to help them. These newly uninsured people, again, who had it all 6 months ago and now are in a position where they could use the help. That's where a Silver Lining Foundation steps up. You can be part of it. We've got a $125,000 match that is in play tonight. It is an extraordinary opportunity for your donation to actually be doubled. So whatever contribution you make tonight is going to be matched. Again, whether it's $100 or $10,000, we've got $125,000. We don't want to leave any of that on the table. We've got an amazing guest for you tonight, Micah, the extraordinary drink maker. That's taking care of that. But if you've ever wondered a little bit more about wine and champagne, we've got an expert on hand. Keep in mind that this gentleman is also available in our online auction. You should look for it in there. He's got a great virtual wine tasting. You'll learn about wines, a little bit on champagne as well. But tonight we bring Food and Magazine's 2019 Sommelier of the Year, the 40 Under 40 Tastemaker of the Year from Wine Enthusiast magazine, and over 30 years of experience. And tonight he will show each of us how to properly open up a bottle of champagne. You think you know how to do it, you maybe don't. If you've ever potentially hurt somebody, keep a good eye on this. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Eric Siegelbaum.
Hello everyone, my name is Eric Siegelbaum. I am the founder and chief innovation officer of Sommelier, which is a full-service hospitality consulting company, and I am the educator that is hopefully going to be presenting to you an auction lot that you bid on and win for the Silver Linings Foundation. It's going to be a devoted hour-and-a-half long class with me, and I promise it will be full of delicious wine and great experiences and a few surprises. So we have a little time together while you're getting ready to select what you're going to bid on, and I wanted to open this event by showing you something that's very important but often misunderstood, and that is the safe and appropriate way to open a bottle of champagne or sparkling wine. So when it comes to wine, there are very few rules, but when it comes to sparkling wine or champagne, we're talking about safety here. There's 6 atmospheres of pressure in this bottle. That means this cork wants to fly real fast, and over 100 people a year are critically injured or seriously injured from flying corks. I'm talking like broken noses, loss of eyes. We don't want any of that. So I'm going to show you the safe way to do it. So what you're going to do is first you need a clean work surface. You're going to remove this foil. Now I like to use my wine key because it makes it a lot easier to see what we're doing here. These pull tabs don't always work. So we're just going to cut this foil off and give us a nice clean work surface, because again, we're talking about safety here. Then, once this foil is nicely removed and we have the entire bottom of the cage free, here's where the part comes in that's really important to pay attention to. So again, 6 atmospheres of pressure. So you're going to hold the bottle at a 45-degree angle. That way, most of the pressure is here, not here. So for all this liquid, it's pressing up here, not up out the top. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put your thumb over the top. Now this is where people get it wrong, but you are never going to get it wrong again. Once you start to untwist this cage, your thumb is never going to leave the top of the bottle. And the reason for that is we have got to secure this cork. So you never take the cage off, because that means you have to take your thumb off. So you're going to untwist it. You're going to free the work area. You're going to grab the base of the bottle. You're going to hold the cork in place and twist the bottle and just ease back on the pressure. Now, to show you absolutely how safe and effective this is, I'm going to do something next that I want you to never, ever, ever do, and that is this. So yell into your computers, I will never do what I just saw. I will never shake a bottle of champagne. As you can see, it's super bubbly now. I've activated the pressure, so this is way more pressure coming out the top of the bottle. So let's make sure what I'm telling you is actually true and prove that this is safe. 45-degree angle, thumb over the top. We're going to untwist this cage. And if you want the amazing trivia of how many twists, some say 5, some say 6, I say 5.5. Once the cage is untwisted, we're going to free it from the lip of the bottle, just like so. Now, grab the base. Notice my thumb isn't leaving, I'm just repositioning. Also very important, you're never pointing this at anyone. And I'm going to twist the bottle and ease back on the pressure. Now, I know you're sitting there waiting for an explosion, and you might get one, but I'm not so sure you will. So we're going to just keep doing this and see what happens. It might take a little longer because, again, I shook it, so I really primed it up. This is what it should sound like. Do you hear the pop? No, because a pop is an explosive decompression, and that means you're not opening it safely. But voila, and I promise this is not a trick bottle of champagne. It is very much a delicious bottle of champagne. Also, while we're here, Perrier Jouet. Hard T, not Jouet. So that is the safe and appropriate way to open a bottle. Now, the good news is we have a few more minutes together, so we've arranged for an Ask Me Anything, and some people sent in some questions, so my trusty assistant off camera is going to read me some questions, and I am going to answer them for you in the time that we have.
Can you please explain the myths and facts about sulfites? Do you really get headaches from sulfites?
Ooh, sulfites. So that is a very contentious question. Whoever asked me that, I'm glad you did. So here's the thing about sulfites. From a scientific standpoint, it is physically impossible to be allergic to them. You can have an intolerance, but they're not the right kind of chemical reaction that would cause you to have a full-on allergy. The other thing that people misunderstand a lot about sulfites is I hear a lot, I can't drink white wine because of the sulfites, it gives me headaches. Or sorry, I can't drink red wine because of sulfites, it gives me headaches, so I can only drink white wine. Well, I have news for you. White wines tend to have more sulfites in them than red. But here's the thing. Sulfites, it's just sulfur dioxide. It's a preservative. It's meant to prevent bacteriological spoilage. And the thing about sulfites are there are way more sulfites in Coca-Cola or Pepsi or other soft drinks. If you can eat fast food French fries, those tend to have 100 or 200 times more sulfites than wine. So people don't get headaches from sulfites typically. In fact, dried apricots have like 1,000,000 times more sulfites, or dried fruit, than wine. And sulfites occur naturally during fermentation. So if you're getting a sulfite-free wine, it's been chemically redacted with really bad chemicals to eliminate those sulfites. And it's far worse for you. So basically, the reason people get headaches is just that when they're drinking wine, they're just not drinking enough water. So sulfites are in all wines. Sulfites are not your enemy. I wouldn't, be drinking a cup of sulfite, but the sulfites that are in wine occur naturally, a little more are added, and that's just as a preservative. So, next question.
What is natural wine and how is it different from organic wine?
Ooh, that's another long conversation, but I can give you the very short version. So natural wine is really like minimal intervention wine. And I'll tell you as a sommelier, I'm not in love with the natural wine movement. I am in love with the idea of wines made naturally. Here's the thing. Nature doesn't make wine. Nature makes vinegar. So you need a little bit of human intervention to make grapes go from grape to juice to wine. Natural wine's idea is to do as little as possible. And frankly, those that are really dogmatic about it are being pretty irresponsible, because what they're doing is they're picking some grapes, they're putting them in a container, they're hoping they ferment, they're dumping them in the bottle, they're not adding preservatives, they're not stabilizing the fermentations, and they're convincing you that these things that taste really weird and funky, that's how it's supposed to be. So the idea of natural wine bothers me because it's a great way for people to hide behind flawed winemaking. I do like wines made naturally, and by that I mean natural practices, no chemicals, and minimal intervention. So that's what you should be looking for. Now, organic doesn't mean no chemicals. For instance, sulfur dioxide, sulfites, are in organic wines. Organic means no synthetic chemicals and synthetic additives. So there's still plenty of chemicals that can be used in organic vineyards or any organic produce. And in organic wine, it doesn't mean no chemicals. And that applies to everything you're going to ever eat or drink. So just for your own sense of self, be aware of that. We have time for one more quick question, maybe the last question at the bottom, and then we're going to wrap it up so you can get to bidding.
What is a great beginner's resource for learning more about wine?
Great question. My two favorite resources for learning about wine are Wine Folly. So you can go to winefolly.com, and she's got a couple amazing books that are mostly infographics. Also, the Wine Bible by Karen McNeil is another incredible resource if you want to get into wine at any level. So that's all the time we have, I'm afraid, for today, but enjoy the auction. Thank you for supporting such an amazing cause. And remember, you have the option to bid on a whole hour-and-a-half long wine class with me, where not only do we get to drink great wines and learn great things, but you can ask me any question you've ever wanted. So thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be a part of the Silver Linings Foundation auction. Cheers.
Well, I've definitely learned that I have been opening champagne bottles wrong for my entire life. Eric, that is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Again, as he mentioned, it's available in the auction. I think the current price is $3,000. Because of the COVID right now, you get to do this virtually in your home. He's got the whole thing set up. He's obviously a great personality and very informative. So it's a great opportunity. So once in a while, these things happen, and this is great. It's amazing, and we couldn't be more excited. You heard me mention earlier, we had a $100,000 match put in place by Perry McKay. Wendy and Tom Jones stepped up, said we want to throw in $25,000 for a match. We have just been informed that our good friends over at Washington Square Health Foundation have said they'd like to get in on it. They are putting together a $25,000 matching grant on top of it. That's $150,000 in matching dollars available tonight. Whether it's $100 or $1,000, $50, $38.50, whatever you've got, whatever you can help us with, know that all of it is going directly towards the vital breast health testing programs provided by a Silver Lining Foundation. It is so great that you guys have joined us here tonight. We promise it is going to be an amazing gala. We're going to do our very best with the virtual event. We thank you for being here. We've got about 10 minutes to go for our live event. Welcome back. Well, the online auction is going great. Most of you seem to have found a little something in there that you like. I will tell you that because we're doing this virtually, the online auction's maybe not as big as it might normally be. We're clearly not selling you anything in a live auction per se. But if you are somebody out there who might find yourself in a doghouse, maybe you've forgotten an anniversary or a birthday, this online auction has got you covered. Get in there. I assure you there is something that can help smooth out the rest of your weekend. All your contributions tonight being matched. We've got our original $125,000 match from Perry McKay and Wendy and Tom Jones, and then just announced a little bit ago, Washington Square Health Foundation coming through with another $25,000 matching grant on top of it. $150,000, ladies and gentlemen. Let's together make sure that we don't leave any of this on the table. Paul Esnick is standing by. We're going to get this gala underway. Ladies and gentlemen, it is just about to begin.
Standby video. Ready, camera 1. Ready, camera 2. The gala is live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Paul Lisnick. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 16th annual A Sterling Event Gala, and we are virtual. I'm with WGN TV News. You've seen my friend and colleague Micah Mater earlier tonight. How about that little silver teeny that Micah made? I got to tell you, I always wondered what she had in that flask underneath the anchor desk when I come in, and I'm kidding. I'm sure it's not. I don't know what it is. Anyway, this signature cocktail was specially designed for a Silver Lining Foundation. It's really good. I promise you, that's my first for the night. The work of a Silver Lining Foundation would not even be possible without the support of so many wonderful people and organizations who make up the Silver Lining Foundation family. And they do so much to ensure that the foundation can carry out its mission. That mission, as we all know, is more important today than ever before. We are living in such unique times and with such an uncertain future ahead of us, as in the Affordable Care Act before the Supreme Court. We've got to be ready. A special note of thanks go to the board of directors and the dedicated team at the Silver Lining Foundation who work tirelessly every single day to help the women and men the foundation serves. Gratitude to our participating organizations and 15 partner hospitals and also to WGN TV. A special shout out to all of the returning sponsors as well as to the many new sponsors of tonight's special event. Now, throughout the evening, we hope you will consider making a donation. It's as easy as a click of the donate tab that's on your computer screen. And also, as you heard Jim talk about, be sure you visit the silent auction where you can bid on many fantastic items. I'm seeing some cool stuff for men that I'm already bidding on. Your doing so helps fund the programs of the Silver Lining Foundation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, you are in for an incredible treat and experience because I'm kind of familiar with what you're about to see, and it's incredible. It's a new song. It's called I Believe. It was newly written, and it's now the newly written and produced anthem of a Silver Lining Foundation. You're about to see why. It's going to be performed by the incredibly talented Chicago's very own Opal Staples in a production that has the artistic direction of the amazing Mark Roscoe. You know the name Mark Roscoe from his fashion designers? Yeah, that's just the beginning of his talent. Wait till you see the artistic video that he's worked together with a cast of people, but especially this incredible new song, the new anthem for a Silver Lining Foundation called I Believe. Sit back, relax, have a sip, and enjoy. I give you Opal Staples.
Now there's no more sorrow, 'cause we do believe. Because there's always tomorrow, there's a silver lining. So remember what your mother said, everybody's blood is red, we can lend a hand. I got my faith, and that won't shake. And where there's a need, that's where I'll be. Silver lining, just call out our name, and we'll be right there to strengthen each other and show that we care. 'Cause no one's ever turned away. Love is what we need today. We will find a way. I got my faith, and that won't shake. And where there's a need, that's where I'll be. 'Cause I believe, you believe, oh, we believe in a silver lining. So don't you fear, we always need strength for tomorrow. Skies will be clear. Said it's just before the day. So hold your head up. I see a silver lining. I got my faith, and I won't shake. And when there's a need, that's where I'll be. I believe, you believe, we believe in a silver lining. I believe, you believe, we believe in a silver lining.
Wow. So incredibly powerful, so incredibly beautifully performed. I'm going to make a toast, because why not, to the incredible Opal Staples and Mark Roscoe for that production. And Opal, what an amazing song. Cheers to you for that beautiful new anthem. It's memorable. It's just so moving. All right, let's move on. It's the kind of dedication, though, and that kind of commitment that is what keeps the Silver Lining Foundation going. As I mentioned earlier, we've got many returning sponsors as well as new sponsors for this 2020 a Sterling event. During these strange times, their support is critical. Their generosity, ever so important. We're grateful to the sponsors of the 16th annual Sterling event Gala, and they are the Tawani Foundation, Barbara Bradford and Robert Sherman, Pamela and Alfredo Capitanini, Dr. Linda Carradine Ponset, Gregory N. Hines, I know Greg, Dr. Bella Nand, Protivity, PSAV Encore, Schoenberger Public Interest Law Foundation, and Beth Witzak. Thank you all. In only 18 years, the Silver Lining Foundation has evolved from a single outreach program to a funder of life-saving breast health testing. What is especially important to note is the Silver Lining Foundation accepts no state or federal funding. Why? Because it doesn't want any limitations. It doesn't want restrictions that get put on the people it can serve. And when you get grants and things from the government, it often comes with some strings. Dr. Sandy Goldberg won't stand for that. You see, the Silver Lining Foundation, no one has ever turned away from receiving services from this foundation. I'm going to repeat that. No one has ever turned away. And I'll emphasize that every dollar raised tonight goes directly towards funding the foundation's program. And that means lives made easier and lives saved. Let's take a moment and hear from a good friend of the foundation. She's a lady you all know, Tracy Butler.
Well, good evening, everybody, and it's wonderful to, I guess, kind of sort of be here all together at our virtual gala, the Silver Lining Foundation. And you know, I just wanted to share with you a little story about why this foundation is so personally important to me. You know, I mean, I've long heard of the Silver Lining Foundation, and of course, I've known who Dr. Sandy Goldberg is for a long time as well. But a Silver Lining Foundation never had so much meaning to me until I was diagnosed with breast cancer. in December 14th, 2018. You see, I drive to work in the mornings. I'm usually on the road by 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:15 in the morning. And I'm always listening to the radio. And I would hear the public service announcement come on from Dr. Sandy and a Silver Lining Foundation, where she would express the messages that we are in this together. And she quotes her mother by saying, we are all there to help one another. And, you know, I kept my diagnosis private, with the exception of my family members. I kept it private for a very long time. And so driving in the middle of the night to work, sometimes it's kind of lonely out there, but I always had that calming voice of reassurance from Dr. Sandy. So Dr. Sandy, I need to thank you personally this evening if I haven't done so enough already. But I will continue to support, and I know there's going to be so much support for all women who are entitled to have a mammogram. And we support the Silver Lining Foundation. And hopefully next year, we really can be all in this together and hugging one another and sharing the importance of early detection to save lives. It saved mine.
Thank you, Tracy. There are stories like that all across Chicagoland, and the Silver Lining Foundation is there to help them. Your contributions tonight, as mentioned before, go directly towards helping those women and men. So we've got a great opportunity for you in the silent auction. Again, I'm telling you, if you got a special lady in your life and she likes sparkly things, this is your silent auction. This is the one you want to be at. It is amazing, world-class, top-notch stuff, and it is just beautiful. The auction closes at 8 o'clock, so you've got less than an hour to go on that. Your straight-up cash donations, those can happen at any time. Quite honestly, we're not closing the doors at the end of tonight. You can make that contribution tonight, make it 3 weeks from now. But tonight, if you make it, we have a grand total of $150,000 in matches. That's right, we started out with 100, and then that was from Perry McKay, and then we got another 25,000 from the Joneses, Wendy and Tom, and then out of nowhere we get a $25,000 matching grant from Washington Square Health Foundation. So $150,000 is available tonight for matches. So please get in there. We told you we had some amazing guests and some wonderful people in the Silver Lining Foundation universe. Our next one is somebody very special. If you've come to any of the galas, she is one of the first smiling faces you see when you come through the door. She has done an amazing job herself, recruiting new volunteers and just genuinely being just an amazing human being when it comes to helping out a Silver Lining Foundation. So if you would, please welcome, after 15 years of helping us out, please welcome Tonda Marcus.
As I have done for the past 15 years, I would like to take this time to welcome each of you to the 16th annual A Sterling event. While we are not able to be together physically this year, the mission of a Silver Lining Foundation has not changed, and that is providing mammograms to those who cannot afford them. Enjoy your evening, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of the smiling faces that I have come to know over the years again on next year.
Cheers to Dr. Sandy and a Silver Lining Foundation. Hey everybody, I'm Leanne Trotter from NBC5 News, and I gotta tell you, when I first met Dr. Sandy, I didn't know about a Silver Lining Foundation. I just knew that she was so warm and loving and caring, just a wonderful person to know. And then when I found out about the foundation, I was like, oh my goodness, she is providing free mammograms, free breast health testing for people who can't afford it. Are you kidding? She is leveling the playing field. She is equalizing, however you want to say it. Like, she is providing important life-saving tests to people that wouldn't otherwise be able to afford it. She's saving lives. And I gotta tell you, Dr. Sandy, okay, I was right before the pandemic, Dr. Sandy asked if I would be a part of her fashion show. And, you know, I never do anything like that. But for Dr. Sandy, I put on my dress and I walked down the runway because I truly believe in what she's doing. She's saving lives. And for that, I want to say thank you. Thank you for what you have done. Thank you for what you do. And thank you for what you will do. Dr. Sandy and a Silver Lining Foundation. Keep up the good work, folks.
Hi, my name is Justina Kostelniak, and I am the Manager of Outpatient Services for the River Forest Medical Campus, affiliated with West Suburban Medical Center. Under the great direction and vision of our late and great Chief Administrative Officer, Mary Jo Chokolas, we began our partnership with Silver Lining Foundation in late 2015. When Mary Jo first met Dr. Sandy at that very first meeting, she said it was love at first sight. Very quickly, that love grew into a committed relationship that would not only improve our breast center and how we provide care, but also impact the lives of hundreds of underserved women in our community. Silver Lining Foundation is there for our patients when they are their most vulnerable. And not only do they help them get the breast testing they so desperately need, they treat each and every single one of our patients with the utmost respect and priority. Or simply put, they treat them like the queens they are. As liaison between our breast center and a Silver Lining Foundation, I have seen firsthand how Dr. Sandy and her wonderful team come to the rescue when a patient was about to get a breast biopsy. She cried in despair to the mammotechnologist because this test was just too expensive, but she was worried what might happen if she didn't get it. In that moment, we called Dr. Sandy and they offered to pay all of her expenses. That patient in turn cried with gratitude because she would no longer be burdened financially, and she got the peace of mind she so desperately needed. I have seen Silver Lining come to the rescue for countless numbers of patients who were deciding against getting their breast procedure because they just couldn't afford it. I even heard a story about one of our patients who considered traveling to a foreign country to get her breast treatment because that would have been less expensive for her. Thanks to a Silver Lining Foundation, she's getting all of her diagnostic follow-ups on time. Today, we are seeing many women and men losing their jobs without notice due to the impact of COVID-19. A Silver Lining Foundation's mission to provide respectful and equal access to breast health testing has always been important, but it is more important now than ever before. Being a partner with a Silver Lining Foundation allows us to provide treatment for our patients when they can't afford a deductible or they lose their insurance suddenly. Dr. Sandy and a Silver Lining Foundation. We at the Breast Center are forever grateful to you for the work you are doing to improve the lives of so many, and because you came to the rescue when there was nowhere else to turn.
Hi, I'm Sandy Goldberg.
Hi, I'm Greg.
You have a last name too, my friend, don't you?
Yes, I do. Greg Hines.
Greg Hines. This is the yin to my yang, or better known as Devilman and co-founder of a Silver Lining Foundation. Right. We're awfully glad to be here tonight, aren't we?
Oh yeah, it's wonderful, wonderful seeing all this come together.
It has been really the result of a tremendous amount of hard work. And before we talk even further, there are thanks from both of our hearts that we want to share. First of all, to our amazing board of directors, to our sponsors, to our team at a Silver Lining Foundation. You talk about a group of committed individuals, a small office that does so much tremendous work. So thank you, Nancy, we call her the boss, Juancetta, to our Lupe, who has been with us since she graduated from high school, to Laura, who keeps us detail-oriented to the nth degree, and of course our dear Jack, who I have said, you will never, ever get away from us. So thanks to all of you, and also a very special shout out to my little sister Linda, who was watching from Florida. I love you, baby. I know Mother is smiling. I know.
My older sister Linda.
Oh, you know why? Because she is 2 months and 1 day older than he is. So of course we have to bear that in mind. But we started a Silver Lining Foundation in 2002 after I was diagnosed with breast cancer in
That's correct.
2000. Yeah, and we were newly married at that time.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we went through the whole gamut.
we did. And
Marriage, breast cancer.
Yep, and then starting a foundation. I remember the day that I was diagnosed. I called Greg, he was at work, and I asked him, "Please, can you come home?" And he did, and he said, "So what's up?" And I said, "I have breast cancer, I have to have surgery the day after tomorrow." And you said, "Do you remember, my friend?"
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of, yes.
I think I said something to the effect of, don't worry about it, I didn't marry your boob. So.
Now, does that sound consistent to those of you who know him? But you know, when somebody says that to you, and you feel as though you've been hit by a bus, you know that your back, someone has your back. And I learned through the course of a multi-year treatment actually, that my back was covered. But then what I did learn when we created a little cable show, you remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember. I would screen the calls and Sandy would answer the questions from the people that called into the show.
Right. And what we learned from that little show is that we learned how fortunate I and we were to have access to everything that we needed, whether it was medical care, whether it was testing, whether or not it was medication, treatment, whatever it was. And the calls that would come in that I would answer, and there were a lot of them, and they came in, I had to answer them after the show went off the air. And what we both learned is that we learned that people felt that they weren't worthy because they had no money and they had no insurance. And neither of us actually could live with that.
No, we couldn't. You came home and told me about it. You know, the calls that you took the next day.
Right.
Calls kept coming in day after day, even after the show. You told me about it, so we knew we had to do something.
We did. So we sat down at our kitchen table, and you talk about two babes in the woods, and we looked at each other and we went, "So let's start a foundation." And we did. We didn't know how to start a foundation. We didn't know what to do about a foundation, but we knew that we had to do something. And from that decision, over the course of these past now 18 years, it has grown into 5 programs. Because you see, originally we wanted to do resource information and outreach. And that program was rolling along just fine. And then one day I said, "So why don't we fund mammograms?"
Yeah, we had this little library set up at UIC, little library at the corner. They gave us space. We thought we had it licked with that. Then we came up with the mammogram idea.
Right. So the first hospital that believed in our mission was the University of Illinois Medical Center, and we have now grown to 15 hospitals, and we fund the entire spectrum of breast health testing now, screenings through biopsies, for women and men who are uninsured, underinsured, undocumented, and as you heard Jim say, those we call the newly uninsured, those who went to bed one night, woke up the next morning, had neither a job nor insurance. But when we reference our 15 partner hospitals, that marvelous message that you heard from Justina over at West Suburban Medical Center really echoes the sentiments of all of our partner hospitals. And we know that Mary Jo, the late great Mary Jo, is watching us from heaven, and sitting next to her is our cherished and deeply missed friend, Toya Thompson Thomas. So we know you guys are watching us and just continue to do so, and we feel your spirit. But what we've learned so much over the course of years, haven't we?
Yeah, we learn a lot, and we also learn what we don't know. We thought we knew.
Right.
There's a lot more that we don't know than we know.
That's true.
But we keep plugging along.
Right, and what we do, and really the creation of the foundation and the creation of the programs of the foundation came from need, came from identified need. I mean, we were going to do resource information and outreach. Then we went, oh, let's fund mammograms. But then the first year at UI Health, the University of Illinois Medical Center, we funded 95 screening mammograms. Then we started to think about, well, what happens to people who need, women and men, who need diagnostic testing. So we started to fund those. Then other hospitals came to us, and we now have a grand total of 15 partner hospitals. And although the theoretical focus of what we do in terms of funding breast health testing is in the greater Chicagoland area. We get people who call us for help from everywhere, all the surrounding states, from other parts of the country. We've even had people who have been visiting relatives from different parts of the world and need breast health testing. We turn no one away. We always say, if you can get to us and you have a place to stay, we will help you. And the diagnostic rates that we have are 4.5 times the national average. You know, we're thinking about our history, we're thinking about our families, we were thinking about so much, about how much alike we really are.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, we thought we were quite different in our upbringings, but when you get down to the bottom line, it's the same. It's family, and naturally you have to have good food.
Absolutely.
Good family and good food, that's all you need.
And you know, that has rubbed off on both of us, and that is why we do what we do with the Silver Lining Foundation. And we know that we've learned so much from our mothers, and I'm sure that they are smiling down at us, don't you think?
Yeah, what do we call them? The Ebby Club.
We call them, now we call them the E Club, because
E-Club,
both of our mothers' names started with E. So, Evie and Elizabeth, we love you. We hope you're proud of us. And you know what? How about giving me a little kiss? I love you.
Love you too, honey.
Okay, bye. Enjoy the rest
Hi,
of the
I'm
evening.
Maria Castro, and although we cannot be together physically tonight, we are here virtually and spiritually to support Dr. Sandy Goldberg and the Silver Lining Foundation. And tonight is not just about raising our glasses, it is about raising awareness, raising funds, but most of all, raising hope. Hope for a future without the C word. Hope that we can touch the lives of one person, 10 people, 20 people with our generosity. If everybody shares their time, talents, and treasures tonight, even in the slightest, we can make a difference. Because I know that together we are stronger, and together we shall rise. I love you, Dr. Sandy Goldberg, and the whole team and donors and volunteers at a Silver Lining Foundation. All of you son mi familia. Salud.
Thank you, Maria. Again, I'm Jim Miller, and it is my absolute pleasure to be here tonight with you. And I want to congratulate those of you that are winning in the silent auction. A reminder that it's not over yet. You've got about another 25, 30 minutes. It'll close down at 8 o'clock. Under normal circumstances, if we were in a big, beautiful ballroom and you were all dressed up, this would be the time where I came out and did an auction. I'd sell you some things, great vacation getaways, or a fancy dinner in your house, or some beautiful jewelry. We, of course, aren't going to do that tonight, but we still have an obligation and a desire to raise some money to continue the amazing work that Greg and Sandy have done. And so we've already mentioned it. We currently have $150,000 on the table in a matching grant. That is not normal, ladies and gentlemen. To have that kind of support right out of the box is really an extraordinary thing. We thank Perry McKay. He came in with the first $100,000, $25,000 right out of the box with Wendy and Tom Jones, and then our surprise $25,000 matching grant tonight from the folks over at the Washington Square Health Foundation. So if we had the live auction, and if you've ever been to one, you would know that at the end of the live auction, I would say something like, well, 5 people are happy, you won something in the live auction, but the other 400 of you in the room didn't get anything. So we do what we call the paddle raise, or the fund a need. It's a chance for those of you that want to make a contribution but don't need another necklace, or don't need or want a little vacation getaway. It's a chance for you to support this great organization with what they need above all, which is cash. We talk about these newly uninsured. It is the irony of a situation that we're all going through, that there will be people who thought they were secure, that maybe 6 months or a year ago said, yeah, I should go to the doctor, I should get that checked out. Then COVID happens, and now where are they? They may put that off, they may delay it. And as we all know, that is not the approach we want them to take. We want them to reach out. We have the funds to be able to help them. The irony is that under normal circumstances, our goal might be here, but we expect those numbers to do nothing but go up. There will be more people in need of this service in the city of Chicago and the surrounding areas than ever before. So the need is greater. We need to ask you to help us out. So I would normally say, who can help us out and start us out at $10,000? And how about $5,000 or $2,500? And you would react. You'd raise a hand and people would applaud and it would be wonderful. Can't do that tonight. But we have had kind of a unique situation come in tonight, which is very, very cool. A pace setter, we call them. The person who says, I get it, it's unique, it's a different kind of night, I want to help get things going. And so tonight we are unbelievably honored to have one of Sandy's friends step up and kick us off tonight at the $10,000 level. Shannon Orr is a dear friend of Sandy's and a wonderful friend of a Silver Lining Foundation. She teamed up with TierPoint, a data center and technology company here in Chicago, to make this generous donation. She loves working with the foundation. She loves helping them out. And she said, I want to be the one that starts it out tonight, and has given us $10,000 to do just that. So that immediately became $20,000 because of the match we have in play. So if you want to jump in with Shannon, we'd love to have you at the $10,000 level. We'd love to have you at the $5,000 level. If it's $1,000 that you can help, imagine the impact. I don't know, I guess I'm probably talking just to the men out there. A lot of times we just don't know what women's health costs. There's a lot of things we don't understand, but that's probably toward the top of the list. Imagine a mammogram, the most basic thing that a woman can do for her health. What do you think it costs? $500? $1,000? Those are guesses I'd throw out. It's $135. That's it. For $135, you can literally change somebody's life out there. There are women and men in need of this test that are sitting at home that have found something that seems a little odd, and this gives them that opportunity. You can get in for a diagnostic mammogram. It's only $235. $275 will fund a breast ultrasound. A biopsy is $1,500. So imagine the impact that Shannon's donation has had and what you can do. And we're not here to tell you how much money to give. That's not our place. But whatever it is that you can give us tonight, it is gratefully appreciated. And know that this money is going directly towards this goal. It is what we have always, always wanted to do. So it's my pleasure to be here tonight. Please click on that donate button, give what you can, encourage your friends to do it, and know you don't get a better opportunity than having somebody else say, if you give $1, I'll give $1. And that's what we've got in place tonight. And there's over 150,000 of them out there waiting for us to match tonight. So the silent auction continues. It is going. You've got...
Hey, Jim.
27. Hey, is that Paul?
It is.
Hey, how you doing?
Listen, I'm enjoying everything you're saying more than you may realize. I do want to ask you, though, there are actually a couple of items. I'm serious about this. One in particular that I'm bidding on, and I keep getting outbid, and I'm curious to know, I don't want to say which one it is, but are you bidding against me on an item?
I hope not. I could get myself into a lot of trouble trying to bid against you, Paul.
I'm trying, and every time I hear a buzz on my phone, I'm like, oh, somebody else, but that's all right.
Now, are you bidding because you're in the doghouse? I mentioned this earlier, and if you've looked at the silent auction items, this is good. If you've got your wife, your girlfriend, your special lady friend, this is a good silent auction to get you out of potential trouble. Are you trying to cover up something, maybe?
What I'm bidding on will do me just fine. You see, it's going to be good for me. Not everything is jewelry for women. There are other things going on in here. And
There are
a couple things in there I really love. You know, the other thing I got to tell you, and I love about what you're saying, is, you could just throw numbers out there. Give 100 if you can. Whatever. I love the way you've tied it to certain things. That $135 is a mammogram. That $275 is a breast ultrasound, because it means that when someone donates that kind of specific money, they actually know what they're paying for.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and this is just the nature of the business, this isn't how you and we're not looking at these numbers day in and day out. And so I think it's important for people to understand exactly what their contributions can go to. I talk to people all the time and they think, well, I can't write a $10,000 check. Most people can't. But if you can donate 50, it turns into 100. You're $35 away from providing a mammogram from somebody in Chicago and quite literally saving their lives. So it is important to have people have that understanding.
Again, such a great point. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. Yesterday, I put $50 on my Starbucks card.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we do that. If people have Starbucks cards or whatever card you have, we'll throw money on there. We don't think twice about it. Here we're giving money that is going to benefit women and men to get a mammogram, never turned away. They may not have any insurance. They may be underinsured. And that money that many of us would go out and spend on a dinner might just save a life.
Yeah, no, it really is that important. And I work with nonprofits all around the world, and the reality is they will all tell you that the bulk of the money that they raise through fundraising comes in those small dollar amounts. It is the people that are giving $25 and $50.
Yeah, and just one more reminder, if you would, just on the auction. So just remind people when it's over, and I'm going to look again to see if I'm just still winning.
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. The silent auction closes. There's no extension, no do-over. Not 8:05. 8 o'clock. The computers take over. It will shut down. Get your bids in now. Don't be waiting until the very last second. We've got some amazing items in there. We want you to have the best of luck. Paul?
I got to tell you, I'm ruthless with this stuff. This, even like last year at the live gala, I'm like running out to the table, and they're after me. They go, you got to start again. You got to do things. I'm like, I want this item, and the auction is about to close. So priorities, Jim, priorities. Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely.
As we continue on, it's time to hear from a few more of our friends, the Friends of the Silver Lining Foundation.
Dr. Sandy Goldberg is a cunning grand dame. For those of us who know her well, she is a sharpshooter. My name is Kaylee Vogelzang, and I am the editor-in-chief of Cancer Wellness magazine, and I call Chicago, Illinois my home. These days, I'm lucky enough to call her Bubby. Bubby is a Yiddish word that means grandmother. We share a love of fabulous company, fast cars, couture, and a Silver Lining Foundation, and its unifying set of beliefs that all individuals deserve access to quality cancer resource information, regardless of age, race, gender, or financial condition. Eternally poised, thoughtful, and cunning, Dr. Goldberg and her partner in crime, Gregory Hines, have managed to create a measurable and meaningful impact on the health of both men and women. I love you, Bubby and Zadie, and the fabulous charity that you have created. Raise your glasses to Dr. Sandy and Greg. I wish you both and the Silver Lining Foundation many more successful years in helping those in our community in need. Salud.
Hi, Dr. Sandy. Candace here. I just want to congratulate you and your wonderful Silver Lining Foundation. Thank you for all the good you do in our community and for never turning a blind eye to those in need. I hope tonight's 16th annual Sterling event is so successful. Here's to 100 more.
Hello all, this is Courtney Mahoney from the Chicago Wolves hockey team, and I'm very proud and privileged to present this year's winner of the Evie Award, Tasting Stars. Tasting Stars was started when a couple of guys were going down doing their liquor store shopping and found that they had a couple things in common, a love of champagne and a big passion for fighting against breast cancer. And after they chatted for a bit, they figured out they were going to put their minds together and combine the two causes and create an event. Started in 2004, it was just a handful of folks. They're good friends, getting together, tasting champagne, remembering Dom Perignon's first taste of it, saying it tastes like the stars. And by doing that, they created an event that raised over $6,000 with just friends and family. And for the past 10 years, all of this money has gone to the Silver Lining Foundation, to the Buy a Mama Mammogram program, which provides a mammogram for those women who aren't able to afford one. I can't even count, and I love that it's a number so high, of how many women and how many lives they have supported by this amazing endeavor. Big kudos to Tasting Stars. I think everybody couldn't be more proud of you and what you guys have done. And if I had a glass of champagne, which I should have for this, I'd raise it to you guys. And again, Tasting Stars is such a great example of what a great idea, hard work, all is combined to do an amazing work for Silver Lining Foundation. I'm privileged to introduce and proud to introduce Brent Cartenson, who is going to accept the award on behalf of Tasting Stars. Thank you so much, Brent. Again, if I had a glass, I'd salute you, but all the best. Congrats on your award.
Thank you, Courtney. I am honored to accept this award on behalf of our entire Tasting Stars family. This event began over 18 years ago with a simple idea that was sparked by a casual conversation I was having with Charles Stanfield. It says right here on the award, "We are all family." What has driven the success we have had over these years is the dedication of our Tasting Stars family and their passion for this important cause. Year in and year out, we know we can count on our volunteers, our event partners and sponsors, and our attendees and donors, many who have been involved with this event since it began back in 2004. But our Tasting Stars family also includes a special group that is the heart and soul of this event, our 7 host couples. Without them, this event truly would not be the success it is today. You know what? I'd really like you to meet them. And here they are, the 7 host couples that are such a crucial part of our Tasting Stars family. Claire and Dave Peterson, Lynn and Stuart Gunn, Lisa and Michael O'Rourke, Sarah and Bart Kratz, John and Julie Crumley, Amy and Michael Lindquist, and with me here is my lovely wife, Ann. On behalf of the Tasting Stars family, thank you again for this honor. Now, please join us in raising our glasses in honor and appreciation of a Silver Lining Foundation and Dr. Sandy for the incredible impact you have had on so many lives. May there be many more silver linings to come. Cheers.
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 Dr. Sandy, Greg, Jim. Hey, Greg, I got to start by asking you, was it your idea to have everybody keep toasting and sipping throughout this program?
Yeah, I think it was. Don't take me too literally, though.
Well, that may get you the Evie Award next year. I just want you to know that one tip.
Okay.
By the way, congratulations to Brent and the team. I've worked with them for a few years now. It's such incredible work in all these difficult times. Dr. Sandy, this is our moment to chat for a little bit. Look, I know we were together last year. We were in person, room filled with people, music and dancing, and this wasn't the year we expected it to be, but you're a physician. You understand the way life goes. What are your reflections on the direction things have had to take this year?
Well, Paul, that's a really good question. And the one that I think about a lot is what the need has exploded to be during the course of this year. As I said before, people who had insurance, who had jobs, who have discovered that they have to navigate waters that they never anticipated ever doing. And they also discovered how difficult it was, how anonymous they felt. What we do at a Silver Lining Foundation, as you well know, Paul, is that we make sure that everybody feels as though they have a haven. They have a place to go. We will talk to them. We love them. Our hospitals love them. And the one thing that I do want to stress to all of you who are watching this evening is that we figured out, I do every year, how much does it cost to save a life? And what I do is I take the amount of money that we have spent and I divide it by the number of women that we serve. And that cost, and I think this will surprise you as well, Jim, to save a life is worth $400. Think about it during these difficult times. That is what drives us, the need to make sure that everybody gets that testing.
Jim, I know you work with a lot of different organizations. Your world is raising funds to help the great work of these organizations. We're in a very tough time. Look, I cover politics at WGN, so I follow this stuff, the economy. There's a lot of people out of work. There's a lot of people who have lost their jobs. And yet there's a dedication for a Silver Lining Foundation that seems to just override all of that. And maybe that's because the mission of the organization is to help people who actually need the help in the first place. There's just a lot more people in that boat now.
I think you're exactly right, Paul. The reality is you're right. Every organization out there, with no exceptions, is scrambling. Every one of them. There are very few. If I look through my entire client list, they all are experiencing huge surges in demand for what it is that they do. And it's going to come down to the fact that some of them aren't going to make it. It's just the sad reality that some of these nonprofits will not be able to make it through this for a variety of reasons. So some of that money, you hope, will funnel towards the strongest organizations. And when people see a group like a Silver Lining Foundation, they look at that, they say it's well managed. They're directly in touch with the needs of the people in there. There's not a bunch of overhead that's peeling away at the money that they're donating, and they're actually seeing results. That's what we want to see. If I give you $1, are you going to show me $1.50's worth of results? And that's what a Silver Lining Foundation does. It's just a tremendous, tremendous organization, and I'm just honored to be part of it.
I've got a question for all three of you. I want to get your reaction because I think it's so important, and I'm referring to the Opal Staples new anthem, I Believe. And I'm going to start with you, Dr. Sandy. I mean, look, we always have music every year, and this year was no different. But even when you approached Opal Staples and said, hey, join us, she could have done a Beatles cover, right? I mean, that's what a lot of happens at a lot of events. We get a cover, like a beautiful Beatles song, and there's nothing wrong with that. That would be great. But that's not what Opal Staples did this year. She decided to create an anthem, and again, in working with both of our beloved Mark Roscoe, the great fashion designer, but so many different talents, they created what I have a feeling is going to have a multi-year life with the Silver Lining Foundation. What was your feeling when you watched that video?
I was practically in tears, and I am every single time I watch it. I also sing along, much to the horror of my poor suffering husband. But I will tell you, when I spoke with Opal and with Mark about creating an anthem, I also got a tutorial on how a gifted artist puts the words to music and transmits the message. It was an amazing, amazing experience. And then to see that brought to life, it was, oh my God, absolutely. I get verklempt every time I start to think about it.
It was about a 4-hour phone call, I think that was.
Yeah.
Well, and Greg, I wanted to ask you, as you watch it, of course, there's your wife at the end of the video with so much thanks going to her, and towards her, but you lived through this with Sandy. I mean, you went through this. What is the effect this video has on you living with the love of your life who went through breast cancer?
I see that video, and every time I see it, I see different things, different faces, different feelings come out of me when I look at it. It takes me back to when we were first diagnosed with cancer. It takes me back when I see the lady with the bandana on her head and then the joy afterwards. So every time I see it, I see something different.
Jim, I know you work with a lot of organizations, but you watch that video and it's got to make you feel pretty different about this effort.
Yeah, it really is something to have a theme like that. It really is very moving. I saw it for the first time today, and it really, I'm glad I wasn't on camera as I was having to watch it for the first time. So it's a great testament for a wonderful organization.
And Dr. Sandy, now that we've seen all of the friends, I was going to say your friends, but the friends of the Silver Lining Foundation with their toasts, with their testimonials, with their drinking, you have a thank you want to give to all of them right now? Why they're probably, I mean, I know they're with us watching.
I'm going to turn to the camera for this. I cannot thank each and every one of you enough. What your love, what your support, what your caring, not only for Greg and myself, but for the foundation and for the people that we serve, is absolutely mind-boggling. And more importantly, it is panoramic. Your love helps people live. Your support gives people peace. There is nothing better than to sit in the office and the phone rings and everyone picks up the phone in the office and I hear, Dr. Sandy, I had my mammogram, or I had my ultrasound, or I had my biopsy, and I'm okay. Is this not what the world is all about? That we should all be okay. My mother used to say we're all family and we have to help each other through the tough times. Greg's mother said pretty much the same thing by her love and by her actions. This is what we are about. We love you, we are here, we will help. We will turn no one away, and it is because of those who love and support our mission. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
You know, you taught us the concept of family. There's the blood relations, and then there's just the relations that constitute family.
Right.
And you are surrounded between Brenda Arellano, who assists in so many ways, and Mark, and just so many names, too many to mention, the beautiful family. And the love that you all maintain for your own mom. You know, I lost my mom a couple of years ago. I do this with her ring on to keep me mindful of the important lives that we've been given by those who have preceded us and gave us life. Join me now because we have another friend of a Silver Lining Foundation who wants to say a few words.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of the virtual gala for a Silver Lining Foundation. I was so excited because it gave me a chance to get all dressed up, which I haven't had the opportunity to do in almost like 5 or 6 months, and it just felt so good to get all dressed up. You might even recognize this dress because the last time I wore it was for a function for a Silver Lining Foundation. But all kidding aside, I want to give a special shout out to Dr. Sandy Goldberg and a Silver Lining Foundation. 16 years of providing all kinds of incredible help to people in the Chicago area. Medical help like providing mammograms to women and men who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it. You know, you are such a wealth of information, a plethora of medical knowledge, and if somebody has a question that you don't know the answer to, you know the person who does have the answer. We are so lucky, so fortunate to have you, Dr. Sandy, and a Silver Lining Foundation here in the Chicago area. We are truly, truly blessed. So let's raise a glass and give a toast to Dr. Sandy Goldberg and a Silver Lining Foundation to many, many, many more years of providing help to breast cancer survivors and patients. And a personal toast to you, Dr. Sandy, for continued years, many, many, many more years of continued good health. L'chaim, we love you. Mwah. Now I got to get out of these shoes, man, because my feet are killing me. I haven't worn heels in like 6 months. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, back to our regular reality. Bye.
L'chaim, indeed. Thank you, Roz. And thank you to everyone who shared their feelings, who gave such lovely tributes this evening. To those who may still wish to donate, you can do so at any time. Look, when you're making a donation to a Silver Lining Foundation, that doesn't end at 8 o'clock. You can do that anytime. For those of you who wish to place a final bid in the silent auction, like Jim is probably doing to my thing right now, you've got until 8 p.m. sharp. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wind down this 16th annual and first ever virtual Silver Lining event, on behalf of a Silver Lining Foundation, I thank you for joining us from the comfort of your homes. Thank you for your support, your donations, your dedication to the Foundation's mission of ensuring equal and respectful access to cost-free breast health testing. As we share our last silver martini together, thank you again, Micah Mater, I can't help but think of past Sterling event galas, many of which I've attended, I've had the privilege of emceeing. They've always been such a beautiful, such a joyous event, and when we closed out last year's gala at the Hyatt, look, no one could have predicted that we'd be together this year this way, in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. But life sometimes plans things that we're not ready for. It's difficult to find the words to encapsulate the year 2020, except to say, I won't mind when it leaves. But I do know that every day we are healthy and safe is a reason to be grateful. And every day that we can do our part to help others be healthy and safe, that is a gift. And that's what every one of you is doing by supporting a Silver Lining Foundation. You are helping the foundation carry out its mission to ensure that no woman or man goes without potentially life-saving breast health testing. Did you hear me say earlier that no one is turned away? May we treasure the memories of our past times together. May we look forward with hope for good times to come. May we remember that behind every gala, every celebration, every toast, every turn on the dance floor that I hope we'll return to next year, It's a fundraising effort to ease lives, to save lives. L'chaim, and good night.
Thank you, Paul. As always, an amazing job. I look forward to seeing you next year in a non-virtual sense. Folks, we just wanted to leave you with this. You've got literally 5.5 minutes left in the silent auction. Get your bids in. If something doesn't sell, you're going to get a text message in the next day telling you you'll get another shot at it. But this would be a great time to do it. We are this close to our goal tonight. We have $150,000 in matches in play. It is never too late to make your contribution. Again, we thank Perry McKay, Wendy and Tom Jones, Washington Square Health Foundation, all of them coming together with matching grants, putting just an amazing opportunity for you tonight. We please, if you've been waiting all night, you wanted a big dramatic finish, this is it, folks. We are this close to hitting our goal. We want to fully extend the entire matching grants that we have tonight. We can't thank you enough. I want to thank PSAV Encore. It won't mean much to a lot of you out there, but we are doing this live tonight on a skeleton crew, and everybody here has been masked up and taking all the precautions that we need to today. Everybody at a Silver Lining Foundation, Sandy, Greg, everyone. This has just been an amazing evening. I'm glad you were able to join us. I hope you enjoyed it. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll leave you with a little montage.
A silver lining.